beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another edition of Shop My Deck Collection. All right, we're going to get right to it, but first I'm just going to say this disclaimer that there is nothing wrong with these beautiful decks. What I have here are all indie decks and I love them, all of them. They're all wonderful decks and they have served me, but I am trying to get a more curated collection, a more curated library, something. And now that I've been at it for a little while, I know what works for me and I know what brings me joy when I read with a certain deck or a certain type of deck. And some of these are so beautiful and definitely have my aesthetic, but some of them I didn't have an easy time reading with them, even though I tried to work with them. And I just feel I sat on them and now I feel it's time to move them on. So if you're interested in any of these decks, I will list the prices below, and the prices listed below will include shipping. And I'm only going to be, unfortunately, mailing within the US. Okay, without further ado, here we go to the first deck. The first deck is one of my favorite decks of the last year. So why am I wanting to rehome this deck if it's my favorite? Well, because I have two copies. So I'm not getting rid of this copy. The copy that you would get is going to be brand new and sealed. So this is the Pocket of Peers by Jamie Sawyer. And I'm going to get a little bit further down. This is a wonderful, wonderful modern deck. And if you're not familiar with the deck, and I didn't edge this, it comes edged like this. And those are the backs. It's a wonderful rose petally matte cardstock. Now, the people depicted in this deck are people in the tarot community. This is Holly from Wildly Tarot, the podcast. And this is Esther, her cohort, and she is the creator of the Hilda Tarot. Okay, the first deck that I want to rehome is one of my absolute favorites of the last year. And why am I rehoming it if it's a favorite? Well, this is the Pocket of Peers Tarot deck by Jamie Sawyer. And I love this deck so much that I got two of them. Yes, so this is my deck, the deck that I use, but you will be getting one that is unopened and still shrink wrapped, and you'll get it in the original box, mailing box that I got it in. But if you're unfamiliar with this deck, the production value is so beautiful. Look at that. And it does follow the RWS system. Now, the one thing you will not be getting is the extra companion book. Because I only bought one of those and that's for me. But this does follow the RWS system fairly well. Magnetic closure box, by the way, and that's the back. These are the backs of the cards. It's a nice matte laminated finish. They're factory etched in a yellow, a bright yellow. And if you're not familiar with this deck, it's a modern day deck with many notables in the modern day tarot community. This is Holly from Wildly Tarot podcast. This is her cohort, Esther. And she's also the creator of the Hilda Tarot, if you did not know. But there are so many tarot notables in this deck. And it does, as you can see, follow the RWS system. This is Richard. He's created several decks. So yeah, you don't really need a book to read with this deck, but you can see it's uber modern. it is also very, very diverse. And this is Sally Morningstar, who was the artist for Ethony's Modern Love Tarot. So yeah, you can see. And Teresa Reed. Yeah, Rachel Pollack. I think that's Rachel Pollack. Yes. So yeah, I have my copy. I also have the tarot tiles of this deck. And I'm also expecting in the mail very soon Jamie Sawyer's new Kickstarter, the Out of Hand deck, which is supposed to be a companion to this deck. So yeah, I figured I don't need two. So you will be getting a brand new deck of the Pocket of Peers. The next deck that's looking for a new home is the Seventh Sphere Tarot by Tina Gong of Labyrinthos. And you can see the beautiful magnetic closure box. It's beautiful, beautiful production for this. This has the vector style, very minimalistic art, and that's the box. It comes with a little white book with card meanings, but you can see it's very clean. This is super matte cardstock, shuffles really well, and it comes edged in this beautiful, beautiful blue. Very calming. Those are the backs. So it's a very, very minimalistic deck. And I'm going to try to give you a good look. So you can see all of these decks that I have are in very, very good condition. I'm not a hard shuffler. I don't riffle shuffle. My hands are pretty weak to do much damage to a deck. As you can see, this is basically like new. It shuffles very, very well. Very, very smooth, doesn't clump. And let me just show you a few cards. So very, very minimalistic. Great for a beginner. And even if you're not a beginner, these images aren't too jarring. If you're a professional reader, reading for someone or a group of people who may not be familiar with tarot, this is a great deck for that, and it follows the RWS system. The next deck that I would love to rehome is the Modern Love Tarot, Exploring the Many Facets of Love by Ethony. As you can see, as with all of Ethony's decks, beautiful production. Beautiful magnetic closure box. This has a chunky monkey book and one of my favorite Two of Cups cards ever. And this is the inside. That's an extra. That's a title card here. But that's what the box on the inside looks like. Card backs. Beautiful, beautiful book with lots of information. So this is geared towards relationships. As you can see, each of the cards will have a general love meaning, single and loving it, ready for love and dating, committed relationship, if you're in a struggling relationship, or the end of a relationship. So that's the structure for the whole book, and you get that with all the cards. And there's Ethony, and oh, sorry, I said in that other... Her name is Lucy Morningstar, not Sally Morningstar when I showed you her picture in the Pocket of Peers. But yeah, lots of great stuff. And the cards themselves are etched in metallic gold. And I'll just show you around. You can see there's no chipping. As you can see, and there's also no bow in the deck. For those of you who are, you want to know the quality and the condition of the deck that you're getting. Besides these two cards, I find that there's very little diversity as far as age in this deck. The artwork is so colorful and beautiful. It follows the RWS system pretty well with a modern take. But you know what? I find that when I want this kind of deck, I continue to reach for my Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann, and that's the one I reach for. And this one does have a, has a certain bent towards relationships, but I find that I can use the Light Seers for that as well. But you can see uber modern, wonderful depictions and take on the cards. But I find I just don't reach for it, and this deck deserves to get a lot more love. I love the Eight of Swords. A lot more love than it's getting, in my home. Because, and this is a great hermit too, I'm just not reaching for it. So, this is the Modern Love Tarot by Ethany and Lucy Morningstar. And the next deck that is looking for a new home is the Awakened Soul Oracle by Ethany again. This is the second edition. It is not the original first edition. But again, you can see Ethany's beautiful production value. These are huge cards, by the way. And that's the inside of the box. You can see there's no shelfware on the box. It's like a brand new deck. These are the gorgeous backs, and you can see in relation to my hand, these are very large cards. They are as big as my hand, stretched out. They are edged in silver metallic edging, and you can see, can't really see any chipping. The cards are unbowed. I mean, the deck is in perfect condition. I used this for a while and I found it's a wonderful, wonderful deck. But I am so getting away from using oracles, and I'm very, very picky with the oracle decks that I gravitate to. I've gotten rid of mostly all of them because I just don't use them. But this one is a really good one. I'm very, very picky with the keywords, and this one does do a little bit better, as far as the keyword and its, correlation with what's the image being depicted. It's a modern day, it's inclusive imagery depicted here. This is a great card here. Yeah. But I'm not reaching for it. In fact, I don't really reach for my oracles at all. So I think, it's time to move it on. So that's the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethany. The next deck looking for a new home is the Moonchild Tarot by Danielle Noel. I got this deck, it was an early indie purchase. And I also got the Star Child, and that one I moved along a long time ago because I just did not, bond with that deck at all. I found I did much better with this Moonchild, and you all know this deck very well. It's edged in kind of a bronzy gold here, and you can see there's no real bow to the deck. Edges are unchipped. I found these cards were rather large for me to work with, though I did love the deck, and I think this was one of my first experiences with collage art decks, and now I've amassed many others. Now, I tend to gravitate towards vintage or retro art collage and or collage of old photographs, Edwardian, Victorian, as you well know if you've been on my channel long enough. So I'm not really reaching for this one. I did love it and I worked with it for a time, but you know, it hasn't gotten any love. I have other collage decks that you know, I'm itching to use, that I'm just, you know, I want to jump out of my seat to use, and this one is not it, albeit how beautiful it is. So it's time to move it on. So this is the Moonchild Tarot by Danielle Noel. The next deck looking for a new home is the Apparition Tarot, a Spirit Speak Tarot deck by Mary Elizabeth Evans. And this is a great deck. I got this pretty early on. I was watching a channel and I saw this deck and I just instantly fell in love, even though I was very much a newbie to tarot, but there was something about it with the sketchiness, the messiness of it. And you just gotta love this teal guidebook. But you can see it's just got basic black and white thumbnail pictures and a very rudimentary, very short description of the card. These are larger tarot cards as well. And there's the inside of the box. Very sturdy, two-piece thumb cutout box. It is edged in metallic gold, and just so you can see the condition of it. There is no bow to this deck. There's no chipping. It's in very, very like pristine condition. Now this deck really, really grabbed me because it's something that doesn't hand it to you. And if you're new and you kind of want to test your mettle with intuitive readings, this is a great deck for that. And as you can see, it does follow the RWS system, and you get these little hints and nods towards the RWS deck but it being very kind of minimalistic art. I love this High Priestess. Yeah, so the artist Mary Elizabeth Evans definitely has a style. Now, of her tarot decks, this is the only one that really has some color in it. Her other ones, which I'm going to show you, are mini decks, and they're black and white. This is the only one with color, and it is a great, great deck. But I have, as you know, my love for collage. I've gone into some more obscure collage decks that I like to use when I want to do more intuitive readings, you know, kind of test my skills against some decks that don't just, you know, that don't hand it to you. It makes you think. It kind of helps you reach into different parts of your brain, like this Ace of Swords. So it's a great deck, but there's other decks that I'm reaching for this, and it's just not getting the love. So this deck is looking for a new home. Look at these beautiful backs. I just love the backs. So this is the Apparition Tarot, a Spirit Speak deck by Mary Elizabeth Evans. And as I told you, I have another one by Mary Elizabeth Evans, the Divina Tarot deck. This is a little deck, as you can see. Look at my hand. It's a small little pocket deck in a sturdy two-piece cutout box. But it's all black and white. So those of you who need some color, this will not be a deck for you. But again, great for intuitive readings, and you see what the guidebook is like. And that's the inside of the box, the back of the cards. These are matte, slightly laminated cardstock. Some people might be creeped out with these long fingers and hands. I know some people are, but as you can see, follows the RWS system, but kind of tests your mettle a little bit. Doesn't hand everything to you. And it has some very interesting takes. This is a great, you know, I love pocket-sized decks for doing, you know, larger spreads. But I'm not reaching for this one. So it really does need to find a new home. It's a great little deck. I liked it a lot. Now, this deck does not come edged. It's very, very minimal. But as you can see, it's in very clean condition. Very clean, and it's in pristine condition. And I'll let you know if there's any jankiness to any of my decks. So this is the Divina Tarot by Mary Elizabeth Evans, a little pocket-sized deck. Next, we have another Spirit Speak deck by Mary Elizabeth Evans, and this is the actual Spirit Speak Tarot deck. It has the same box style as the Divina Tarot, but you've got some beautiful roses. It's all black and white, but it's a little less sketchy. You have some more boldness in the blacks than you did with the other one in the Divina. And you get a little white book. It's really a little black and white book. And you get a little bit of the card illustration in the book and a short little message. And this is more of like a low glossy cardstock. Yeah. But again, you see, it kind of follows the same vein. You get what you need. There you get a full hangman. But it does follow the RWS system, but it goes its own way in some of the cards. And it's one of those decks. Her decks really make you go, So again, great for intuitive readings, but they do give you those hits. So even if you're a beginner, you could definitely see the Seven of Cups. You get everything you need. But just some sketchy art. But in this deck, you get, with the black, you get a little bit more saturated black. And this is the Spirit Speak Tarot by Mary Elizabeth Evans. Next, we have an Oracle deck, and this is the last Mary Elizabeth Evans deck that I have, but it's her Oracle. I think she has 2 Oracles. The Iris I don't have, but I have this Vessel Oracle, and this box, y'all, takes the cake. Look at this. Magnetic closure. Look at the inside. You get a little white book, the size of the cards. That's the inside of the box. Top-notch production. These are the backs. It's a slightly laminated matte cardstock. You can see it's not a huge oracle, but a nice size. It's not edged. But again, it's got her, let me get down a little lower. It's got her signature style, and this is what you get for the guidebook. So you get a picture of the card, and you do get the keywords very much go with the depictions, which is really, really important for me. For me, in a good oracle deck, you really have to have the keywords connect with the pictures. And sometimes, a lot of the times, oracle decks are so vague, because they're trying to put keywords on existing art instead of having the art created for a certain keyword. As you can see, yeah, really, really great. But I'm not reaching for this, again, because I don't really reach for oracle decks that much, and I have my favorites picked out. Though this is a great one. This is really, really a great one. And this is the Vessel Oracle by Mary Elizabeth Evans. The next deck needing a new home is the Empty Cup Oracle by Stasia Burrington. Stasia Burrington is the creator of the Sacrobito Tarot, a much-loved deck in the community. This is a beautiful, beautiful matte box with gold foil. It's the inside of the cover. Look at that. Production value is top-notch. Inside of the box. And you do get a little book. There's the beautiful Stasia. You don't get a picture or a thumbnail picture, but I love her writing. I love the way she sees things, and I love the way she writes. This is a great little deck. And I paired it a lot with the Saucer Beto, and I found that it worked perfectly. Oh, and you get this nice matte gold. It's not metallic, it's kind of a matte. And so you can see there's no bow to the cards, no chipping, just so you can see what you're getting if you choose to give this deck a home. But again, it's minimalistic art, which is kind of what I find myself gravitating to, though this is an early indie oracle deck purchase for me. Very, very simple. I know some of these are very, very unique. And you will, at the beginning, need to use the guidebook. But when you do, you'll be kind of surprised at what you find in the guidebook and Stasia's interpretations and her insights. It's a great, great little deck. And this is the Empty Cup Oracle by Stasia Burrington. Next, we have another oracle deck, and it doesn't come in a box. This is the way I got it, and I believe if you were to purchase this now off of Etsy, I think it's still available on Etsy. This is kind of the way you would get it. And yes, you would get it just the way I got it from the creator. And this is the Elizabeth on Earth Oracle. I bought this deck and fell in love with it when I saw it on Kelly Fitzgerald's channel, The Truth and Story. And very early on in my tarot journey, oh, let me show you. These are the backs. And this is make playing cards, roughly kind of make playing cards-esque cardstock. So it's good, easy to shuffle. Beautiful, beautiful photographs. So I saw it on Kelly's channel, fell in love with it, but at the time, the deck was sold out and not available. But Kelly mentioned that you could contact the creator, and she was selling seconds. So this deck came parceled in three groupings. So I bought all of them, and I think one of the groupings was imperfect. And I contacted the creator to see if she had some imperfect decks to sell. And she said she did, though, with one of the groupings being imperfect. And you can see there's just a little bit of, you know, like, I don't know if it's chipping or wear, or it's not really wear because it's a brand new deck, but just in manufacturing, you know, just slightly imperfect. So the creator didn't want to sell them, you know, as brand new on her Etsy shop. So yeah, let me show you if you can see anything. I mean, you can't really see it this way. And it's not on all the cards. It's just, let's see if I show you this way. It's like, it looks like a little bit of paint splatters. It's just like where the ink didn't take. So there's no guidebook with this deck. So this is a great deck if you want to read intuitively, totally intuitively, because there's no book. So you can put any kind of, you know, spin on these cards. I use this with my Dream Keepers Tarot, and I found that it worked fantastically. But I'm not really using oracles anymore. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, it needs to find a new home. I haven't been reaching for it, haven't been called to work with it. Yeah, there's some of these that seem kind of out there. Yeah, I like this card though. But great deck, beautiful artwork. And this is the Elizabeth on Earth Oracle deck. So this is the complete deck. So I don't know how it's being sold now, if she's still selling it, you know, in groups of whatever. But you know, when I purchased it, I got all the groups. So you have the complete deck here. with just very, very minor imperfections. But you see the deck is not overly bowed or dirty. It's, you know, pretty pristine. So you will get it in this cloth wrapped up, and that's the way that I got it. And I think the way that you would still get it, you know, wrapped in a similar way. And this is the Elizabeth on Earth Oracle deck. All right, so my Ad Orbita Tarot by Leela and Olive is also looking for a new home. This is a beautiful deck, as you can see. Beautiful production values. It is gorgeous. It doesn't have, you know, a substantial guidebook. It's very, very rudimentary. As you can see, it's just a pullout. It's not even a traditional little white book. But if you look at these cards, they are so beautiful, edged in this beautiful bronzy gold. It's more bronzy in person. It's showing up more yellow on my phone, but look at these beautiful backs. And this deck, I fell in love with it when I first saw it on a channel of somebody I admire very much, and I purchased it right away. And you know what? I have a hard time reading with it. And granted, I knew when I saw this person using this deck or doing a flip through that it was going to be an intuitive deck. But I find that while the images are so beautiful, it just doesn't give me enough. The images are very, very minimalistic. And for my brain, though somebody else could do wonderfully with this deck, but I found that isn't me. So it's just kind of sat on my shelf looking very, very beautiful and pretty, but it hasn't really been used. I've taken it out now and again and tried to use it, and I really don't get much from it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to look at. Everything about this deck, but yeah, I reach for other decks over this one, and it's a shame. It's got this beautiful tea-stained aesthetic, which I love, old and vintagey, but yeah, it just kind of, I wouldn't even say, I have decks that are kind of just what I term neutral. This one just kind of leaves me cold as far as reading with it, even though I love looking at the images. So this one might serve someone else a lot better than it serves me. And you know, we are all in different places in our journey. What might work for one does not work for somebody else. This is very much a fantasy deck, an aspirational deck that either I'm not there yet, and you know what? I don't think I will be. It doesn't give me the tingles to want to work with it, you know, like some other decks do in my collection. So it needs a new home, and I hope it finds one, because it is a beautiful, beautiful deck. And that is the Ad Orbita deck by Leela and Olive. For much of the same reasons that the Ad Orbita is looking for a new home, the Maiden Oracle, also by Leela and Olive, is looking for a new home. Again, it is beautiful, beautiful. This is kind of like a combination tarot oracle deck. Now, here's the inside of the box, just for those of you who may not be familiar. This one does have a little bit more of a book than the Ad Orbita tarot. A little bit more. You get a little bit more information. But you can see I got this one to pair with the Ad Orbita. Look at that. Aesthetically, it is beautiful. But as far as giving me intuitive hits, it again, it leaves me a little bit cold, and that's just me. I bought this to be kind of an aspirational undertaking to learn to read with these decks, but it hasn't worked. And it just, you know, I don't want it sitting around because it kind of reminds me of my shortcomings of what kind of reader I would like to be, but I'm not. And I don't need that. I have some decks that I use that are totally perfect for what kind of a reader I am. And this would serve somebody else so much better. And as you can see, again, it's in that bronzy gold, though on my phone it looks more yellow, but it's a nice antique bronzy gold. It is in perfect condition. The deck is not bowed. It's basically like a brand new deck with just the plastic wrap taking off. All of my decks are in really, really good condition, these ones that I'm rehoming. So just know that you're going to get a deck that's in literally like new condition with these. These next two decks are by Kathy Nichols. They are the Story Cards and the Synchronicity deck. These were on my last video, and I think these and another deck were the only things that didn't go. You guys were really good and snatched up my deck. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I used these for a while. I love the mixed media vibe. These are the backs. Some of you might be, you know, don't like the labeled card backs. It didn't bother me because the fronts are so beautiful. And I found that these were kind of literally like story cards because you can literally lay out some cards randomly and kind of make a story out of them, which is kind of fun and cool to do. Almost like, you know, a Lenormand deck. And the artwork, if you love mixed media art decks, it's just beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And then the Synchronicity deck is along the same vein, but this comes with a die and this little organza bag. That's what it came with when I bought it. There's really no shelfware on these boxes. This cardstock is like good make playing cards cardstock, so easily shuffleable. Yeah, both great decks. If you're into storytelling, this is a great, either of these decks is great, but I am selling them as a set because I don't want to be stuck with one and not the other. So these are going as a set and they will be priced cheaper than you could get them as a set on her website. And shipping will be included in all these prices. So these are the story cards and synchronicity decks that are going to go as a set. All right, the next item that is looking for a new home, well, it's really items. It's a set. It's the Kickstarter set that I got with the Cosmovisions Oracle. So you would be purchasing the deck, the art print that I got that came with the Kickstarter set, the Cosmovisions Oracle book, and on the flip side, it's also the book of Prismavision. So if you have that deck, you know, you might want to consider getting this and the big book. And also the cloth. Now this is a double-sided kind of a suede velvet cloth, and one side is blue to kind of go with the colors of the Prismavisions, and this side is the green and gold to go with the Cosmovisions Oracle. This set showed up on my last Shop My Decks video, and this and this Kathy Nichols deck are all that was left over. So yeah, I sold my Light Visions, my Prisma Visions deck, and so I don't really need to keep this book around. So that's why I'm selling it as a set with the deck, because I don't really want the book around if I don't have any of the decks left. But look at all the beautiful art you get in this book and all the information. And this is for 2 decks, for Cosmo Visions Oracle and the Light Visions. I'm sorry, the Prisma Visions. So what you do is you turn the book around, and then it is the book for the Prisma Visions, and it's in perfect condition, no shelf wear. It's gorgeous, but it is going with the deck. So you will be purchasing everything, the cloth, the deck, and the art print. So many of you are familiar with this. It's just not something I'm called to work with. I'm actually, look at the beautiful edging and the gorgeous backs. There is another deck that I have on my radar. Let me get in a little bit closer. That deals with the afterlife, that I think would suit me better. This is a wonderful deck. Wonderful, wonderful deck, but I'm not sure it corresponds with how I see the afterlife. So, you know, that's all it is. And I'm just not called to work with it. There's something else on my radar that I would like to get. But it is wonderfully in depth and deep. So, yeah, it needs to find a home. It needs to be loved. And it is in perfect condition. There's no bow, no chipping, no dents on the deck box. It's basically you're getting a new deck. And that's a chunky little guidebook. This is the book that comes with the deck, but you're also going to get that companion book, the art print, and the spread cloth. So that's the Cosmo Visions set. All right, the next item that's probably looking for a new home, I haven't quite decided on this. You'll see it if it's listed in the description box with the price, but I'm thinking about letting go my Geomantic Vision set by James R. Eads, the Kickstarter set. And this is a geomancy set, and really I haven't been called to use it. I have my tarot tiles, and I have some charms that I like to cast, and I just really haven't, you know, felt called to use these wonderfully crafted coins or to learn the system. You have a full-size book that goes over the system here, and it's beautiful. It is just beautiful. And I got the extra little bag that you could put your coins in. Now, this you can't get right now currently. It's sold out on James R. Eads' site. You can't get it. It's sold out. I think he's doing a 2nd edition, but I don't know when that's going to be out. So if you felt like you missed out on this set and geomancy is something that you're interested in, know that you'll get the book, all the coins that are in perfect condition, and the bag. This is sold separately on his site. So I'm on the fence, but if you're interested, let me know. And if I've decided that I'm gonna part with it, it'll be listed in the description box below. And that is the Geomantics Vision set by James R. Eads. All right, that is it. Now, if you are interested in any of these decks, this is the scoop. This is only for people living in the United States, because mailing being what it is. I'm sorry. I apologize. But if you are interested, you have to be willing to pay me by PayPal. I am going to have the prices listed next to the deck in the description box below, and those prices will reflect shipping. Again, all of these decks are in pristine, like new condition. And I tried to do my best to show you everything, what the deck looks like. Yeah, like I showed you, the decks don't have bows, they don't have chipping on the edges for the decks that have edging. They're in beautiful, beautiful condition. So just email me. I'm going to put my email address up here, somewhere up here, but it's oldsoulmermaid@gmail.com, and I'll also put it in the description box below. So just let me know, and once I receive payment, I will note that the deck is sold in the description box. So I'll do that pretty much right away as soon as I get payment, and to keep the list current so you know what's still available and what is not. So yes, let me know if you're interested in any of these decks, and even if you don't want to purchase them, let me know which deck was your favorite that you saw, or what deck that's been on your wish list for a long time. I would certainly love to hear. And with that, I will let you get on with your beautiful day. Bye for now.